Hi guys, my name is Grayson, and I'm starting this vlog to kind of document my process of transitioning from female to male. I've never made any video of any kind before, so this is like a new experience for me. But I figured everybody else is doing it, so why not? I'd like to keep track of these things. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. As I mentioned, my preferred name is Grayson. I'm 26 years old and I'm currently a second year master's student in sociology. Um, I guess I'm kind of late to the game with regards to this transition process, but I think the climate of today's age has a lot to do with that. Um, a little background information. I grew up not too far from here. I had a pretty good childhood, I guess you could say. Um, I didn't really. I was a tomboy, and I always wished that, I would just wake up and be a boy. But I didn't really know that there was anything, like, fundamentally wrong with me until I guess I was about 13 or 14 and I hit puberty. Because obviously, things are changing and stuff then. Um, I went into, like, a severe depression, and I ended up getting sent away for treatment in Texas. But Texas isn't, the most progressive of places, so not a lot got done there with regards to gender identity. I started university in 2007. I started in forensic science, and I later added on anthropology, and I graduated in 2012 with a degree in anthropology and an honors degree in forensic science, forensic biochemistry actually. And then in fall 2012, I started my sociology degree. Um, Transitioning through university has been quite an interesting process, mainly because I'm a teaching assistant, so I have to make face with a lot of students. So this whole process has been really public. Currently, I have a boss that's kind of an asshole, to put it nicely, constantly misgendering and using wrong pronouns in classes, and it's just been kind of a headache. For the most part, all of my colleagues and the other students and my supervisor have been really supportive, and that's been really awesome. I live in Ontario, and Ontario is a really progressive province with regards to trans issues, which has been really nice for me. In about March of this year, uh, it was when I basically admitted to myself that I was a trans person, that I had identified as a guy. And the first person I talked to was a friend of mine who's also in my program. And she was really supportive and kind of encouraged me to explore these issues, and Tumblr played a really fundamental role in all of this. So I went to my family doctor. Well, first I went to the nurse at the student health services on campus, and I kind of explained to her how I was feeling, and she encouraged me to talk to my doctor there, and said that, like, being a university, they've dealt with a lot of people with similar issues, and that they were really good with these things. So I went into my family doctor and I kind of explained, and she asked me a few questions and then referred me to the psychiatrist I already had, and he's just been amazing. I found out that he actually worked at the gender identity clinic in Toronto, and so he was very, very familiar with all of the procedures that need to be taken in into account in Ontario, and he's been completely supportive. I think we had one assessment meeting that lasted about an hour before he agreed that I was stable and decided to start making referrals to get a transition, the medical transition on the road for me, and that's just been really easy for me. Because I'm in Ontario, we have covered health insurance. Um, I don't have to pay for any of my appointments, and that's kind of a big difference as to like the rest of Canada and then obviously the rest of North America. Um, so I've been seeing my psychiatrist on a regular basis, and I got a referral to an endocrinologist in the city that my psychiatrist has a really good working relationship with trans patients. Um, Unfortunately, because of the fact that we have covered in health insurance and the fact that there's only one endocrinologist in this city who will work with trans patients, been a crazy long wait list. So I will be having my first endo appointment on December 23rd, and I'm really super stoked about that. So I'm hoping come January I can be on T, and that is awesome. I'm really happy. And 2 days ago I got my paperwork for the gender identity clinic in Toronto. And the way it works here is that if you want to get covered surgeries of any kind, including like a mastectomy and hysterectomy or anything like that, through the health insurance program, then you have to go through this gender identity clinic in Toronto. And it's got about a 17-month wait list. And like obviously I have to travel to Toronto to go to the appointment, but I mean that's kind of a small price to pay for getting covered surgery. I mean there is a slight hitch to that in that they won't pay for the contouring that you would obviously want to get. So they'll pay for the mastectomy where they just kind of remove it, and then if you want to make it look like a chest again, then you got to pay the additional for the contouring. But from what I understand, the contouring is only an additional $2,000 or so, as opposed to paying the whole $9,000 for the surgery. So that's really awesome, and 17 months doesn't seem like that long to wait, and it's a good amount of time if I need to save $2,000. So that's been really super awesome, and I'm just really impressed with how this province and all of the healthcare providers in this province have dealt with my situation. It's been really uplifting for me. I'm out to pretty much everyone except my family. I mean, they've obviously noticed that things have changed with me, but I've never directly approached the topic with them, and that's something I'm working on. I'm looking into getting like a regular talk therapist person, a psychologist, I guess, to maybe help me with that process, but like I'm really open to advice there because I really have no idea how to talk to my family. So basically, yeah, that's just a little bit about me, and I'm going to be documenting here the whole process of my transition. I'd also like to touch on a few other things like different products like binders and packers and STPs, workouts, working out before top surgery, and then generally just working out to pass better because I'm really fitness oriented. I do a lot of weightlifting, and that's a really big part of my masculinity for me. And then like clothing choices, because I found I've had a lot of issues with like getting clothes that fit right and still make me look like a guy, because we have different proportions, I guess. So I will be making videos on those sorts of things, but like I'd love for you guys to ask me questions that I could maybe answer, or if you have any advice for me, that would be awesome. So anyway, it's nice to see all you guys, and I'll be back soon.